I didn't think my partner was a bad person, just financially reckless. When we moved in together, I noticed little things. Subscriptions he forgot to cancel, DoorDash twice a day, a car lease that cost more than my rent had in college. But we were in love, and I figured we'd work it out. Then came the shared expenses phase. Groceries, internet, utilities, all going on my card. He'd Venmo me next week. That next week turned into 2 months. And one day I realized I had covered over $3,000 without so much as a thank you. So I made a spreadsheet. It started as a budgeting tool, but it became something more. Every time I paid for something joint, I logged it. Dates, receipts, who initiated, whether it was essential. I categorized everything. Needs, wants, and why did we buy a fondue set? I never accused him. I just documented. Then one afternoon, I got an email from my bank. His card had been declined, again, on a joint streaming service. When I asked him about it, he got defensive. "You make more than me," he said. "Why are you keeping score?" That night, I printed the spreadsheet. No accusations, no yelling. I just slid it across the table and said, "We need to talk about fairness." His face drained. He flipped through pages, every brunch, every shared Uber, every, "I will get the next one." He tried to argue. I stayed calm. I told him this wasn't sustainable, that if he wanted to be a partner, not a dependent, things had to change. He didn't want to change. So I did. I moved out a month later, took my spreadsheet, my sanity, and my silence. I didn't trash him online, didn't tell mutual friends. But word got around. His next girlfriend? She DM'd me a year later, thanking me for the budgeting template. I didn't mean to start a movement. I just wanted a relationship that didn't run on IOUs. Commentary. The quiet ones with Excel are always the most dangerous. They called her meticulous, quiet, the kind of employee who never made waves, only spreadsheets. For 5 years, Mara had run operations in the background of a glittering firm that applauded charisma and punished consistency. Until someone tried to erase her. It started small. A missing login time here. A skipped deliverable there. Emails Mara swore she sent suddenly never arrived. Her name began to echo in management meetings, not in praise, but in raised brows and softly spoken doubts. But Mara was not careless. She was careful. And when the shadows around her work began to stretch and warp, she didn't complain, she documented. Each day, she printed a copy of her task queue, time-stamped her logins, forwarded receipts to a private drive. She recorded Zoom meetings, with permission, and used a plugin to archive Slack threads. She made no noise. She built a fortress in silence. The saboteur was a new hire named Dylan. Flashy, ambitious, and instantly popular. He'd volunteered to streamline workflows, which conveniently gave him access to project queues, file structures, and Mara's responsibilities. Slowly, he'd begun shifting metrics, assigning blame, grooming the narrative. But he didn't know Mara was writing one of her own. The trap was almost delicate, an altered spreadsheet planted under a shared directory with metadata intact. A draft project brief with subtle changes, saved under his account. A final meeting where Mara asked questions she already had the answers to. When HR launched their performance audit, Mara handed them a binder. Physical, indexed, color-coded. 3 days later, Dylan was escorted out. His file showed manipulation of shared documents, deletion of tasks, and falsified Slack pings. He had assumed no one would trace digital footprints. Mara not only traced them, she anticipated them. She didn't gloat, she didn't even speak, but the firm rewrote its documentation policies after she left. Some called it overkill. Others called it Mara's legacy. A quiet assassin with nothing but a pen, a printer, and time. Commentary. Mara played chess on Excel, while Dylan fumbled checkers on Slack.